Welcome to The Passion Pod with your host, Chris Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the feature presentation.
Welcome back, friends. Today we're sitting in Brooklyn, New York with a guest who's actually from here that I discovered randomly on social media quite a while ago. We've been friends on Instagram, seeing his drumming, listening to a little bit of music, not a ton, and then I remembered, hey, you know what? I'm going to New York. I know this guy lives in New York. Let me look into this a little bit more. I sent him a random DM. Seriously, I think I was drinking coffee from my hot tub when I sent you a DM. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, tight. So then I put on music from his band. I was like, damn, I already know all of these songs. Like, I've listened to this a whole bunch of times. So then I was really stoked to make this interview happen. And so here we are, finally, with Maffyuu.
What's up, player?
Dude, thanks for coming over here. I know it was just a short little jaunt for you. I had to come all the way, from Wisconsin to hang out.
It's a longer jaunt.
I invested more into this than you did.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, my man. It's a great day outside, right? Nice walk over there. We in Bedford-Stuyvesant right now,
Yeah.
And it's historic Brooklyn.
Yeah, where specifically? So you are the drummer and you also do producing and a bunch of stuff for the band Phony PPL. And you've been with them from like the beginning, right? For a long time. So that's like the actual group that you're known for specifically. But you're from Brooklyn. Which part of Brooklyn? Are you still in the same area?
I'm still here rocking out in Bed-Stuy, still in my family's house. They own the brownstone.
Oh, cool.
And we Phony PPL, we rehearse out of there. We store our stuff there. Photo shoots like that. My house as well as LB's house. He doesn't live too far from here either. Those were like the focal points of Phony PPL's beginning. Whereas like we in high school, and we need a place to rehearse. My parents was like, all right, you got my house is a whole musical house. That every floor there's tenants, then they all do music or they have done music before,
So it's a multi-unit house?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. And so, your musical background, you kind of talked about it a little bit before, but your dad was like pretty integral into hip-hop being thing in the first place, right? So like, can you tell me a little bit about the family background and how it got you into music?
So, my dad, DJ Jazzy Jay, Zulu Nation, one of the first peoples to put his hand on a record and start, rubbing it back and forth, scratching. One of the pioneers. He like introduced a lot of good people together, most notably like Rick Rubin and Russ Simmons. Like he was one of Def Jam's first artists, first songs to be released on the label. Def Jam started out of like the NYU dorm type time, and my dad was very integral in allowing those people to meet and just jumpstarting all of that, alongside just being forefronting scratching and making sure that art is increasing, along with Grand Wizard Theodore and Grandmaster Cass, all of these dope people. My dad was before that a drummer in church back in the Bronx. That's where he grew up, and he would tell me stories. He was like, I used to play drums in church, and Teddy Riley was the keyboard player, and I'm like, bro, what are you telling me right now? He's like, me and Teddy used to rock out and all of that. So, when I was young, I had my dad's old, like, sound percussion, little beat-up drum kit. And, he put me on the drums. But my mom's also musical as well, classical pianist, classical flautist, since young. So, when I was younger, she put me in orchestra, me, and I have two sisters. One of them is a double reed major at Eastman. She graduated a long time ago.
Wow.
Lives in Germany now. Ireland. And so it's just a big musical family. It was always encouraged. The arts were always encouraged. My middle sister, Kenya, she didn't dive into music, but she was heavily into dance and like Alvin Ailey, Morris Brown, I think the dance studio out here is called. But arts were always encouraged, and like my parents being from the creative side of things, they were always like, if you wanna do that, give it your all. We gonna make sure you're in the best classes and surrounded by the best opportunities.
Which is a significant blessing because that's something very few people get.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, for one, it's really expensive, you know, just to get the equipment in the first place, especially like my kids are 6 and 10. And the idea of like spending significant money for them to get into any random hobby that they're interested in that moment is like, oh my God,
like,
I really hope you like it.
Yeah.
I hope you're not done with it by the time like I pay this off.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, as a parent, that's the risk you got to take. But I would like to say my parents' encouragement, you know, and support like went a long way. I remember one story, and I forgot, I was like learning some like rudiment something, and I was just so frustrated with it, bro. I'm like, this rudiment is never gonna happen. I'm not doing this shit no more. I was like, I want to do karate, man. I want to learn karate, and I could just imagine my parents being like, bro, it's been like 2 years we've been paying for lessons, and you want to stop and do karate? Nah. But I remember in that moment, my dad sat me down. We sat down in the living room, and he don't read music at all, but we worked through that thing, and like just that encouragement, you know, that goes a long way, because when I went back into the lesson the next time, and I was able to play it, and the teacher was like, oh, that's awesome, like that's encouragement to like, oh man, give me the next hardest one. I'm gonna sit down with my dad, or maybe I take those same, you know, things that we learned in that session that me and my dad worked out, and you know, you just get better. It's encouraging. But my parents go a long way with the arts and young kids picking it up, for sure.
Were you trying to just do, like, when did you have the interest in creating more of your own stuff? Because when you're doing a lot of those lessons, it very is like put out in front of you. You have to learn these exact things, and that takes enough time as it is. But to want to actually put time into creating other things, it's just more time you got to put in.
You know, there was so fast forward, I'm in a bunch of like orchestras and concert bands, symphonic bands, and at this point I probably played a couple like pit shows, like Broadway pit shows, not on Broadway, but through like summer camps and other things like that. And I remember being in Brooklyn College Jazz Band. I was in high school at the time too. Shout out to my man Paul Korn, Salim Washington. They were like, yo, bro, you got to come down and slam with us. Salim was the director, the conductor, and Paul Korn, he worked at that camp I was just talking about, but he was the lead sax, also like assistant to. He was like, yo, you got to come play. You like, it's a college band. You're going to get so much, you know? So I was rocking out with them for some months, just after school, take the bus down to Brooklyn College, and then, you know, do that for like 2 hours, go home, go to sleep. This is what I think it was like every Wednesday I used to have to do that. And we used to go on little shows here and there, go to Boston, play a show. And I remember just one night, Salim, like after the show, we all chilling. Salim, and I'm young, I'm probably like 16, you know, 15, 16, 17. And Salim like, brother, what do you want to do? He real jazz type time, right? He like, what you want to do, man? Like, what's your goal? Like what you feeling? And I'm like, man, I've been doing classical all this time. I like maybe want to get into like a nice position in the orchestra and like this. I remember he looked at me and said, ain't no money in orchestra. He be like, he was like, yo, bro, you gonna be waiting to get a position till you 60, and then like maybe you don't get that position. And he was like, I'm letting you know, like the person that got that position, that first timpani position, first snare drum, he not dropping that shit until he's dead. You know? So he's like, you gonna be waiting a while. And then he was like, what else would you like to do? And I was like, well, I guess, you know, I'll do more jazz around. And this is coming from a jazz guy. He was like, you ain't making no money doing jazz. And I was like, word. He's like, you know, you could totally play around, jam around, like definitely be acquainted with your fellow musician. But kind of just led to like, yo, make your own stuff, like create your own music and develop your own productions and styles. So Salim Washington really pushed me in the direction to even seek out like a band or seek out like-minded musicians. So I would give a big credit to Salim as to why I was so pushed to be like, oh, Phony People. Like when I met, it wasn't too far after like that conversation that I met, you know, the guys. And just off the back of that conversation, I was like, oh, this is sick.
So you guys started that all together, or did you come in slightly after? Because there's, what, 5 of you?
There's 5 of us now. There used to be 10 people in that damn band.
Holy shit.
Holy buckets,
they were all
right?
from the same high school?
Yeah,
or
so I'm going to give you a little quick breakdown, a little Phony people breakdown real quick, right? So we all met through public New York City public schools, public high school, basically. Asia and LB, the lead singer, LB, and Asia, the keyboard player, they went to middle school together. Funny story is that they met like some of the first days of middle school because they were getting into the arts, department, and they had to audition or whatever. After school, LB's mother just happened to walk up to a young Asia Grant and was like, "Hey, do you know this kid? I'm looking for my son." And Asia was like, "Oh, I remember seeing this kid in the audition." He was like, "Yeah, I'll take you to him." And they found out they live like a block and a half from each other. So they start hanging out and they start making music together in middle school. Fast forward to high school, Asia goes to the school called Brooklyn High School of the Arts, which is like downtown Brooklyn. And LB goes to Murrow, the famous Murrow, Dime a Dozen, Joey Badass, Pro Era, all of these people. Really, really fly school, right? Brooklyn High School of the Arts, Asia recruited, Elijah went there, guitar player Elijah went to Brooklyn High School of the Arts, and former member Timmy Ogatero, who used to play sax with us, he went to Brooklyn High School of the Arts. So Asia roped them together, boom, brought them to the band. And then at Morrow, LB was there with Dime a Dozen, who used to also be like one of the lead vocalists. And who else? Oh, and then some of the other people, like my man Riot, rest in peace. Anna, like there were girls. There was 2 girls in the band. Like it was gnarly. I was the wild card though, because I shouldn't have like been in this band. PJ, another vocalist, the rapper, who's on Moon. Like at the end of he does the verse at the end of Moon. That's my man's 100 grand. We went to a completely separate school. We didn't even go to school with Asia LB at all. PJ knew LB just from in the neighborhood, local park. They lived a block away from each other on St. Mark's. They used to go to Broward Park, chill out, hang out. And so me and PJ went to some school in Carroll Gardens, which is completely far. Like if this is our school, Asia and LB schools is that way. And me and PJ became cool because we just happened to have on the same shirt that day. Like we ain't no bullshit. We ain't speak to each other like that, more so a nod or whatever. But these are the first couple of days of school. More like a nod. But one day we just had on the same shirt. Vinny Styles. They make the Brooklyn shirts with the glitter. We run Brooklyn. I remember going to Vinny's. I'm like, ooh, brand new shirt. Oh, it's over. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to kill this. Nobody got this shirt. I come out my homeroom, and the first person to walk through the hallway doors is PJ, and we do the Spider-Man thing,
Yeah.
and then he's like, you got on my shirt. He's like, you got on my shirt. Boom. So it was cool. It was just funny. And then I swear that day after school, we just found out we was walking the same way back to the train. I was like, where you going? He's like, I'm going home. Boom, took the train and got off the same side. I was like, bro, where do you live? Oh, I live right up the block. I was like, I live right here. We became mad cool. We was hanging out for months. I had to bring him to my house for whatever reason, and I had to take him to the basement. And he was like, bro, you got a whole drum set down here. I was like, yeah, I play drums. He was like, why didn't you tell me? Like for months we was hanging out. I didn't tell him I was a musician. We was just kicking it, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, bro, what? I'm in a band. We need a drummer. He was like, we got a show in like a week and we need a drummer. He was like, yo, you got to meet Asia. Called Asia. Yo, Asia, come through Matt's house right now. I was about to say this shit all over the thing. Yo, come through Matt's house. Asia came over. First time meeting him. I had a little bullshit Casio keyboard. And me and Asia, first time meeting, we probably said like, hey, what's up? I'm Matt. I'm Asia. Right on to the jam, and we jammed for like an hour and some change. Like no speaking, no prior knowledge of each other. We was just going. I was like, oh, this kid can play, vice versa. And then Asia was like, You got me, LB. This is like a little ladder step to the final boss, to the Shang Tsung. And yeah, so and I remember it being cold. It was probably like, it was about to turn 2010 or something like that, or so. It was probably that winter. And I remember LB was on a bike in the middle of winter. I swear there was snow on the floor too. On a bike. So it's me, Asia, PJ, and the LB on the bike. We on St. Mark's. LB riding mad slow. I'm like, bro, it's the first time meeting him too. And he's just on the bike. He was like, yeah, so you like Phony People? I was like, yeah, I know, because Phony People was on MySpace already. They had dropped a couple songs or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm a fan, through me and PJ hanging out. I was like, yeah, I love the music, A Million Worlds Away and Yellow Glasses. These are all my joints. He was like, all right, okay, cool. So you like Phony People? He asked me this like 4 or 5 times riding down the block. And I was like, wow, this is gonna be a long one. And then he was like, we got down the block. He was like, okay, cool. Come to my house this Friday. We got a rehearsal. And then on Monday, like, we got a show at Murrow, which was our first show. Yeah, and since then, I've just been playing with these guys. Our first show is actually on YouTube. If you look up Phony People Guitar Fest, Murrow, you can see all of that. And we all wore fake mustaches because we couldn't grow.
Because you guys were still in high school.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the little. It's a long breakdown. And bro, if Elijah was here, dude, they would go into detail. My shit was long, but they rested them here, bro. That's a book novel.
What happened when you got, obviously you played together for a little while though, but there's not exactly a lot of money in it to begin with. And then when you have a whole bunch of people you're trying to split money in, in between, a venue doesn't think like, oh, well, if there's 10 people, we need to pay 10x what we would pay one person. It's the same rate, right? And then there's all these instruments you got to bring and everything else. Mm-hmm. Did your parents push like you needed to go to some kind of like school beyond high school, or did you just try to go music full time? Was the band already really popping by then?
So, my parents were always on the type of time that if they had any inclination that things were declining or failing, that they would they weren't afraid to speak up. They would be in our rehearsals being like, you guys sound like shit. Like literally, like we're rehearsing in their house in the basement. They'd be like, you guys suck right now. Y'all playing tired. Y'all playing lazy. Like, get it together. Like they weren't afraid to hold their tongue. So if there was any point that they were like, yo, y'all getting $10 every show, going out spending 50 to earn 10, y'all got to do something else. And everybody, nobody was exempt. LB would get the same talk from my parents and Barry, and but throughout high school we were blazing, bro. By senior year of high school, bro, we were like gearing up to go to like Japan and like,
oh shit,
like Europe and like all of this stuff. And we had already played the West Coast and a bunch of states inside the country. And
like you guys went on tours while you were still in high school, just took a week off. And
like 2012 was one of our first tours. It was in October, November, December, end of 2012. And Theophilus London took us on the road because Elijah and Barry used to play for Theo stole them from Phony People, and then he brought all of us on the road, which was dope. So that was our first tour, and it was like 6 days all on the East Coast. It was like DC, Philly, all the shaking East Coast places. And that was our first tour, and we kind of just went out and showed people that, hey, we can actually like play like outside of Don Hills and like all of these other New York venues. And I think once we really started showing promise that people outside of the local markets wanted to like have us come and play, then parents would lay up a little bit. As far as the money and having so many members early on, like it was rough, but ain't nobody was thinking about any kind of money early on. It was more like how more shows, how do we get shows? We were burning through our parents' money because it totally wasn't ours, right? And it started becoming more evident when we started getting more shows and having to move around more when flights had to like start becoming a thing, and
just the logistics of that many people and all their things to get there at the same time. Everyone has schedules, and
bro, it's and I mean, I even get to the scheduling part. Like now the band is 5 people, and even scheduling us 5 like get crazy. I can't even imagine with Timmy, E, and Dimes, PJ.
Because do you guys all have like side? I know like you're always producing and doing all kinds of stuff, but does everybody kind of have all their different things going on?
So everybody totally before, during, and after the band were producers. And I know Asia was like, he was going to school for composition, like he was learning how to write. I went to one of Asia's pieces that he wrote. I remember Asia had a recital from a piece that he wrote, and then right from there we had to like fly. It was like in Harlem somewhere, 120 something, and then we had to fly all the way down back to Brooklyn for a show. So like Asia like released his composition. It was like, all right, okay, cool, great, you guys sounded great, I gotta go to a show. And that was one of the earliest moments of Asia's. But yeah, everybody is Barry's like a crazy artist. He puts a lot of time, into that. Everybody has their solo endeavors that they love, whether it be like Barry's art or Asia composing or producing. Everybody produces, everybody has that. So it helps because if we ever need music, there's 5 avenues of people with different flavors that you could choose from.
I feel like that's rare to have young people grow together, mature together like that, and then everyone still want to be a team player. The fact that you guys actually have that vibe of everybody contributing equally, that's a rare occurrence,
bro. That it don't happen often, And we've been a band for like 13 years, bro. Like it's been a decade plus. I don't even know. It's probably been more than that, right? And up and downs, members lost, and all of that. But one thing that and even so, like we still talk to the members that are not even there. My son PJ, I holla at him. Dimes, holla at him. Timmy, always see him shooting whatever. Ian, my man Ian, he plays with this artist named Huck. I don't know if you've been seeing him on Instagram. My man Huck, John Walsh, he crazy. I'll send it to you. He makes some wild music, really, really cool. But it's all love. But we sit down when shit gets rocky, or there's big decisions, like we not afraid of the, all right, everybody sit in a circle, like what you got to say to me, and like we'll do this in private. And you come out better on the other end. Like one thing about Phony People, my parents were here, they'll be like, yes, it'll be like, we'll sit down and we'll talk for hours before like actually like playing a note or finalizing. There's always major talks and discussions, and everybody is heard. Just say everybody, all 4 of them were speaking and I haven't said a word, they'll Maffyuu, what do you got to say about this? And like they'll force it out of you to participate, and not in no malicious way.
No, but there's just so much on the line for everybody. If one person were to just be like, hey, I'm out because I have this thing, everybody else, you guys have tours in mind, and you have music you're trying to like, you kind of have to have that communication. That's a pretty big deal. It
really it really can come crashing down when everybody's not on the same accord. But luckily we've had very little incidents like that. Sure. But mainly because like we'll take a lot of time, and between the band, like not even any external figures like management, or you got your attorneys, like, all right, we got a big decision to make, like let's find our like piece, and then then we'll be able to promote that so much better. If we're on one accord, if we all agree with each other, like I could hold you down, you could hold me down, we got each other's back.
Yeah, well, and since there's that loyalty of so many years, like there's the friendship and everything involved too. It's not just business. I think a lot of times when people are older and they meet mutually beneficial business situation, music or otherwise, you start working together. But then when it's no longer mutually beneficial for whatever reason, there's less loyalty. There's less reason to try to like figure it out. Right? Yeah, there's less, like I said, there's less emotion attached to like, okay, well, how do we fix this, rather than like, well, what's the easy move in this situation?
I know that having I always encourage this to like all of my younger friends who like want to start rapping or build a band, and it's like, yo, and they're like, yo, hook me up with this artist. Be like, yo, this producer. Be like, yo, bro, link up with your boy down the block.
Yeah.
Link up with him. Yo, you gonna have a much better time making music and coming up doing what you're gonna have a much better time doing it with your homie than trying to somebody from way far away. It can be done. Obviously, it could be done, and it's encouraged, but there's so much talent in your little circle and people that both of you guys can influence each other to grow and learn and create your own sound and all like that. I encourage that so much, because you know your homeboy down the block, he great just like you.
Yeah,
know?
you probably have a lot of room for growth at that point where it's kind of too early. People, I think, want the easy route really often, and then they want to try to ask favors for things that are really just hurting them anyways. It's asking too early. I hate when people say it never hurts to ask. I totally disagree with that entirely. Yeah. I think there's a lot of cases where, the reason what's holding you back is the fact that you don't ask because you don't have that confidence. Mm-hmm. However, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, ask me for a favor to connect to somebody, right? Like, say this interview comes out and somebody hits me up, hey, how do I get to know whoever? Well, if it's not an appropriate connection for me and I know that you're just asking out of nowhere, I shut the door in my mind immediately on you. And now I'm not looking out for you because I know you're looking out for you.
Yeah, look, exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, that totally makes sense. Asking at the right time,
right.
Under like proper circumstances. Like I know that this is one thing that me and Asia always joke about, but like you don't want to burn your favors too fast. Like everybody's got a certain amount of favors you can ask of your homie or vice versa, whatever. And it's like, just like, is this something I'm willing to burn one of these 3 favors over or something like that? You know, it you know, just at the right time and in due time and respectfully, jumping the gun will just get your shot.
And
right?
provide value to that person beforehand, right? Before you ask a favor of somebody, do something for them. Let's get to our first song break, though. I don't know if you know this, but this show is on the radio. It's on a few different radio stations. Yeah, it's pretty tight. As well as on Spotify and everywhere else. But obviously you guys make your own music, so we can listen to your music. Yeah. What's one song you want to listen to right now? One that you had a pretty big hand in creating, and what's the story behind the song?
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to say Before You Get a Boyfriend. What is that on? Mosaic? I have to look it up.
I just saw the music video. I loved the ending of that. That was funny.
Before You Get a Boyfriend. Yeah, we shot that. We shot that in the hood, not too far from here. And this song is special, one, because this is one of the only songs that I produced fully for the band. Like I produced, like, you know, the skeleton, the melody and everything, and then these amazing musicians jumped on and just elevated the song. But I remember making that beat like in my undies, like tank top on, rolling out of bed because my computer was literally right there. Like I was asleep, turned, and my iMac was right there. Rolled out of bed, had my SP404, and that beat, that summertime vibe was just on deck. And I remember playing that beat for like all the homies that came through, and it was like, yo, this is that. And then LB was like, send me that. And then it evolved into a whole song, and it's super dope because that beat, among a bunch of other beats that I made up until that point, was like, oh, this is just a morning. I'm cooking up, wiping the coal out my eye. This ain't gonna go nowhere. And it happened to, like, we performed that song today, like, and it goes crazy. Crowd they love to do it in Japan and Korea, like, it go crazy. So yeah, Before You Get a Boyfriend is one of my crowning achievements of Phony PPL, amongst a lot of other things. But
and we'll get to them, but let's hit that first one.
Before you get a boyfriend.
keeping distance. It's not that I don't seek persistence, but I like what this is, how with this. So I hope you don't look at it as me being different, cause you know I don't got no secret mission. I reside between your thighs, baby, switch positions. Now we looking eye to eye, I hear your thoughts, listen. Maybe I already love you and just won't admit it. Maybe I fell in love with you the day I saw you. Maybe you fell in love with me the night we did it. Maybe you already love me and just won't spit it. One thing I can say I love is how you ain't tripping over the hoes, ain't slipping under unknown. Just kissing, rubbing your kitten, got fingers all in your ain't dipping in with the old, just slipping out of the clothes and ripping out of the robe, just getting out of control like. Ready to rock and roll, proper spiffs what she got. She know how to scroll, all expenses paid, cause she paid a toll. And when I'm in the rush, she understands the give and go. The dominance is prominent, the mutual is crucial, yo. Put my medal in your microwave, so we can watch it glow. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. And I'll be there in the jiffy, with the stiffy and the piffy. When it comes to you, I have not, because I ask not. I'm spaced out, I'm an astronaut, letting time fly by and whatnot. But you never throw shade, though the sun hot. We don't need no sunblock, my close your blinker. Feel the love we never speak of, while I get to know you deeper. While I mix the track, while you mix the margarita. While you stop the dance, while I'm turning up the speaker. No, I'm not that type to link up by the collar, cause I'ma see another bad joint and wanna holler. But maybe we could build if it's not a problem. But either way, I just had to keep it honest like. Before you get a boyfriend, girl.
Thank you so much for that tune. Dude, you guys have a pretty extended catalog of music. I didn't realize how much. Partially because you're young. You got to be what, like 28 or something?
Me? I'm 30, my boy.
30? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm still kind of young.
Well, dude, you're younger than me. I'll be. Well, I'm still young. I'll be 33 in a few weeks here.
Oh,
so
old,
yeah, I got plenty of time. But I mean, you guys have just been playing for a really long time together as one group.
Yep.
By your age, you have a really extended catalog. But yeah, people need to go onto your YouTube channel. I mean, it's not that hard to find. You guys have a lot of subscribers on there and a ton of videos. And I'm sure it helped when you had, Joey Badass and Megan Thee Stallion and stuff on there. So it boosted things a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay, so let's get back to music a little bit. We were just talking off mic about how you kind of have to be bad at something for a little while to actually get good at anything. I think there's a million tools out there available. This is an analogy I like to think of. Is people tend to get really good with certain tools that they're used to having, right? So for you, drums, you play that a lot, so you get used to doing that all the time. But if you have another tool that pops up in front of you that you could be using, but you're just too embarrassed to use it, even if you're trash at using this instrument, this extra tool, whatever it is, if you're horrible at it, but you even learn to be like, okay at it, you're going to go from being 60% of your potential to 65% of your potential.
For sure.
Just because you have something else there. If you're always trying to do everything with one tool and it's not the right tool, you're limiting yourself really significantly.
Yeah.
So where are you at with that stuff right now? What are you learning?
We was talking, I've been learning After Effects just through YouTube. Not even like, oh, I got this course, I paid for it. Just through YouTube, how to make coin spin After Effects. And then you follow a tutorial and you learn little things here and there. Been learning After Effects. And like you said, I'm trash at it. Like I know how fast I move in Ableton, a DAW, Logic, Pro Tools, quick, fast. I've been doing that for like 20 years now. Like on some for real. And but After Effects is like, oh, this is dope. I'm seeing the similarities between the DAWs and this program that makes videos look insane. Just spending my time learning, sitting down, learning these new tips and new skills. I'm able to relate some of the practices back to my main thing, and I'm a big supporter of being like, pick something up, pick up a new hobby, learn it. Like you said, you're gonna be trash, you're gonna be dookie. You don't pick up a fighting game and you're just god tier at it, bro. You gotta like work. You gotta learn your combos. You gotta learn your timing. You gotta play other people to make sure that you're not just good against the computer. Like, it's all of these things. You just kind of gotta jump in the deep end, just kind of figure it out. I know a lot of people that don't like to do that. They'll probably like spend months like, gearing up and like getting ready for it. But I know if I try to like gear up and get ready for something, it'll never happen. I'll be gearing up forever, and like the confidence, to just be like, I gotta start this today. A podcast. I want to drop a podcast. Like you said, the first episode, you're gonna like struggle to break one viewer. But your second episode, after you promoted it a little bit, and you might get two. You might get two, and then a week from there you might have 10. It's just all about the push, getting better, learning your tools that you have. You don't got to go out and buy a $3,000 interface. You get the $100 Focusrite. And then you just start. You go on YouTube and you look up how to fix table instead of like what companies fix table and $10,000. Be like, let me send it up. Be like, you can fix your table with sandpaper and
I was talking to somebody else about this. I'm trying to remember who it was. Maybe DJ Cam Bennett, I think, was who I was talking to. But anyways, we were talking about how a lot of people will just hire people out for things that they need done, such as like if you have a video that you did and you're like, I'm just too nervous to use After Effects. I know I'm going to be bad at it, so I'll just pay somebody to do it. Well, for one, you don't know really what you could have it look like because you don't understand how the program itself works. Two, it's going to be really hard to describe to that person to get your vision to be a reality because you can't show them.
You don't know the language like too much, right?
And you could be crazy taken advantage of because you don't understand how long it's supposed to take or how much money it's supposed to cost. A friend of mine does a pretty big podcast, and I was sitting with him out in LA at his place, and he would spend hours and hours and hours a day. This was during the pandemic. Editing. And this dude like makes a lot of money, right? He has a different company. He does a lot of things where I'm like, man, you really don't need to be sitting this long in front of your computer. You could definitely pay somebody to do that. But he made the point talking to me of like, look, I can't hire somebody to do this the way I want it done unless I know how to do it. I'm not going to do this forever, but I need to learn how to do this in a time efficient manner so that way I can show whoever I hire exactly how I want it done. And that takes time.
That's true, man. Like, you have to start somewhere. So for instance, I started learning After Effects because I wanted to build like a video wall for Phony People, behind when we're playing.
Oh yeah,
scrolling text, Phony People videos here and there. So I wanted to build that. I don't know where to start. I started with learning how to make a spinning coin, and now like I started at the beginning of this week. By the end, like this time, I'm able to put together like a full 2-minute kind of thing. Just jumping in and the main thing was that I wanted to learn After Effects. I want to learn the language so that when somebody sees my crude drawing, they'll be like, hey, I could turn that into something dope, and then now we're able to collaborate. You know, without them seeing my crude drawing, nobody would have ever even like jumped in or offered help or anything like that. So it had to start with me. You know, it had to start with just putting the pen to the paper or putting the mouse to the After Effects and somebody seeing it. And then from there, you know, you develop. They have a bigger brain on After Effects, and now you have small brain on After Effects, and now you can learn. Yeah. You know, versus being like, I never even tried After Effects, and now I never get to meet bigger brain.
Yeah, well, that, and I think like when I was talking about the asking favors at the appropriate time, what I found is if you just have good relationships, good working relationships with people around you, other creatives and whatever, because you're just friends and you like being around, if you're working hard and those people like you, they see what you're working on, they're gonna know what your goals are because you talk openly about them. You don't tell them, hey, I want you to help me reach this, but they know what you're trying to do. And if they see you working hard at that thing and they like you, they're going to be the ones who are going to connect you to the right person anyways, or help you with this thing. You don't even have to ask usually.
Mostly if you're, at least I feel, if you're doing what you got to do and you're passionate about it and like you're coming up with ideas and you're exciting people, like friends or not, people feel that excitement, people feel that energy, and they will want to help. They'll yo read this book, or yo check out this. You know, you know, it always starts with you and the excitement and just not being not being scared of being like trash for a little bit. You know, practice goes a long way, and practice like sucks, and it takes a long time, and it sucks time out of your day, but you only get better with practice. You know, like even it's been years and years and years I've been drumming, I still sit down and practice 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. And then I'm like, all right, now that I'm done with practice, I'm all warmed up, like new skills every day. Like what's some new skills that I can learn and develop, and you know, I'm all about just new skills and new things to learn. And even if I learn all I wanted to learn at After Effects was how to make a 2D image, 3D, and spin. You know, and now that I'm there, like my brain evolved. Like, how do I make the DVD logo? How do I do this? How do I, you know? So you start somewhere. You just got to start somewhere. Don't be afraid, and just ask questions. Look on Google. Google has a lot of answers for you. Talk to your friends. You know, like let them know what you're getting into, because you never know. Homie down the block, your boy that you've been spending years with, yo, I've been learning After Effects too, weirdly enough, last week as well. Yo, let's do this together. And then now you guys are like, you know, building something really, really dope.
That's the funny thing with the internet too, is people are like, you don't have to worry about asking a stupid question because nobody has to see your search history. You can just Google whatever stupid question you have and find out if it's a stupid question.
Tons of dumb questions in my Google. Like, yo, bro, like I'll be like, what was a dumb question I put into Google? Oh yeah, like so my Ableton whatever was like season up, and then I typed into Google like mouse idling, why Ableton freeze. And then I remember looking at the question, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm getting pretty specific. Be like, hand hurt, what do?
That's rad.
Yeah, don't look up WebMD. Don't put in hand hurt.
Oh, no.
They'd be like, you got gangrene, cut your hand off.
Well, let's get back to Phony People's music. So you were touring right away out of high school. What was the first time you guys went international, and how was that experience for you?
2019. So it was a little bit. We did like a couple U.S. tours, West Coast type stuff, Midwest. In that time, we like were a backing band for Caliucci's and somebody else. I can't remember. I know we did that Mobb Deep thing at the Blue Note. That was fire in that time. Yeah. We played the whole Infamous album 2 nights with Prodigy and Havoc. And we had a week worth of rehearsal with Prodigy, rest in peace. Like, that's a crazy, crazy guy. Like, he's such a dope person. A lot of gems he gave us. Anyhow, 2019 was the first time we started to really like branch out internationally. Like London is always like a nice home. It's pretty close to what happens here in the States besides the accent. But Japan and Korea, those came in the same year, like back to back. That was the top of 2019. Yep. Because I remember we had just finished recording Fucking Around in Philly and at the studio. And right after that session, I think we flew to Japan or something like we went to LA for like Grammy week or something like it, and then flew right to Japan, Korea. And just a lot of love, flying, being overseas and seeing people who don't speak the same language as you, but are absorbing the music and the sounds and the feeling, you know, properly. Like, it's not even like they heard this incorrectly. Like,
right.
They don't know the lyrics, but they felt the music, the sonics, the sounds, and reciprocated that, you know, in a proper manner. Like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, here's Phony People's music, I'm gonna be at this show moshing, you know, because that not everybody got the vibe. Then the language barrier was none, you know, it was none. Obviously, you know, we can't speak the language, but through music we were just able to connect, man. We had our biggest meet and greet ever in Korea. It was like 500 people, and our first time out there, bro, meet and greet. And we were blown away because we were like, we just boys from Brooklyn, like making songs for fun. And it's beautiful, man. We can't after 2019, when we got back home, the pandemic decided to, you know, be ugly and stupid pandemic. So you know, for the next 2 years we were just home. So after that was our 2019 was probably our biggest touring year and lucrative year and all of that. And then it just got halted. 2020, we were supposed to jump. We were supposed to go right back out to Japan and like kind of live there for like a little bit, just doing a lot of dates. But the pandemic, quite honestly, allowed us to reform and look at a lot of minuscule things and get everything in order. So like, now 2023, we're starting to jump back out there. We got this tour coming up, leaving on Sunday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I just look up Phony People today, I was like looking for more interviews, and it was like, oh, Seattle on whatever Sunday or Monday, and I'm like, oh, I guess I caught him at a really good time.
Yeah.
He's actually here.
I made sure to do this because one, I was checking out the Passion Pod, and I was like, oh, this is really dope. And
I appreciate that.
This is this day was my only chill day. And I was like, it's a nice day. Like I can go up there and talk some shiz. You know, big up my brothers. But yeah, no, I'm super happy to be here. And
yeah, this is dope, dude. And I'm glad that like I'm the one who gets to have you as an actual long form interview.
He did it first.
That's right. Anyone tries to look it up, it's gonna be here.
Yeah, right. You gotta pay him royalties if you want me.
Perfect. All right, let's get to our second song break. Should we play Effing Around? I want to know the story about like how did you get Megan Thee Stallion on it? Was it that you guys made the song, she heard it, or her manager heard it or something, or how did that happen?
We are on the same label. We are all of us, Meg, Phony People, we're on the label 300 Entertainment, ENT. And her point person there is Salim, who is also our point person. So we made Fucking Around. I can't, like 2019, like beginning of the year is when like we put the final touches on that bad boy. And I remember we was all rocking out to it, and we was like, I think LB had 3 verses on that damn song. 3 ass verses. And we were all listening. He was like, "Yo, we need to like break up the consistency. We need to like throw a wrench in this mother effer." And then LB was like, "I don't want another dude on the song." He was like, I don't want another guy saying the same shit that I'm saying. You know, that's just redundant.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And he was like a female of some sort. And Meg was probably one of the first joints, because Meg at that point, still at this point hot. She was tearing down freestyles left and right. Her song Hot Girls, all of this stuff was just going very right for her. Beautiful girl, a woman. Like that's a homie. But yeah, so I remember all of us, and Salim was there jamming out with us, listening to the shit. Like who do we get on this? And Salim, we was just like, yo, Meg. He was like, I'll send this to Meg. I'll see what she says. He was like, I'm not making any promises. Like, right. He sent it to her, and she was like, oh, I dig this. And at that point, she had never rapped on no 4 on the floor. Like she was into the twerking, you know, very heavy bass, and you know, so even for her fans and even for her, this was like a step in the direction that Meg can get on this type of flavor. Like she could do this. Yeah. You know, so it was a mutual thing where we were very happy, because also prior to that we don't do features like that, Phony People. You know, if you look at all of our past albums before this one I just dropped, Euphonious, barely any features. You probably have an instrumentalist like Masego was playing on like Yesterday's Tomorrow and stuff.
He's incredible.
Yeah, shout out to Masego. Yeah, but you know, we could have been like, hey Masego, give us a verse. Yeah. He was like, nah, nigga, play your sax, son. We want the sax. Yeah. Shout out to Masego. But yeah, the Meg thing, like it was just dope, because she was able to experiment. We were able to experiment, and that experiment came out lovely, you know. And then we shot the video in California with her, and we were all macking out, chilling. She fed me Douce. Like it was crazy. We went to the Tiny Desk with her.
Oh, cool! I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Totally check that out. We performed the Meg Tiny Desk, like that's us playing the Hot Girl Summer and all of that.
Oh, damn, cool.
That and you know, since then, like we just see each other in spurts. Is like yo.
Sure, yeah.
You know, she's a amazing artist. She can really rap. You know, she really pin her bars. Yeah. You know, so. Mad love to Meg, and she did her thing on the Beckett.
Hell yes. I mean, sometimes you get larger artists. I'm not going to call anyone out on anything, but sometimes you get a larger artist that sees a song, comes in, features on that song, and because of the name recognition, it pops off. Mm-hmm. But I think the original is way better. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's always that they come in and really improve the song, but I see what you're talking about with like LB. It is the way it breaks it up with the male and female dynamic on that song, especially with the music video too. The music video is dope. People got to watch that with the car wash and all that shit. Yeah. No, that's dope. Yeah, it's good. All right, let's get to that.
Play that.
What you're starting, but I can see you like to play with fire, darling. Your man just hit the bar to grab a chalice for you too. He turned his back just for a second. Look at what you do. Sending me the supersonic signal. You ain't lay a finger, but I feel you. Independent woman, I won't tell you how to act. You and I both know we could be gone before he gets back. You got a man, but you're messing around.
questions if we just sexing. I got situations, no confirmations. Everybody wanna know who making dating. Well, that depends on whatever the date is. I got me a European poppy out in Italy. And he like the model, but he always let her picture me. Flying overseas and it's just their bees. Send a pic from the back just to give him a tease. I keep a man in Texas, that's where the best is. Down south, daddy, any cool, never stress me. West Coast thing, I'm in love with his slang. Who I love a thug, keep it hood when we bang. I got a man, but I'm messing around. Cause I'm young and I can't be tied down. He got a girl, she got nothing on me. But we young, so we both do the same thing. I got a man, but I'm messing around. Cause I'm young and I can't be tied down. He got a girl, she got nothing on me. Because I'm young and we both do the same thing.
Thank you so much for that song. Yeah, dude, cosigns go a really long way. Getting somebody like Meg to like back you in that kind of way, which obviously like same label and everything, you guys are already established anyways, but still like branching out and having somebody from a different genre who's like A-list backing you and saying, hey, this is dope. That opens up a lot of doors. Do you guys have other people that you're kind of like eyeing? Not necessarily that you're going to send a DM and say, yo, I really want to, but like, is there anybody else that comes to mind that you would really like to work with if the opportunity just like fits?
What's that new feature on Instagram where you message somebody and you ask them to react? That's what we about to start doing. So I know with phony people, like we don't try like it's not necessary. If I need a crazy verse, like me and LB gonna sit down and write that. I know it's a big like part of us to always like create and stay original, make phony people music and all of that. And back in the day, that idea kind of like maybe hindered us a little bit from even reaching out to features and getting that. But as you increase in the musical sphere, like you need to build connections and you need to have like support and all of that. So, anybody who is willing to listen to the music honestly and be like, hey, I dig this. Everybody's welcome. Not reaching out too crazy. Like there's a couple artists that we all know and love. Like if Louis Cole, for instance, the drummer, gave phony people a shout out, I'd probably lose my mind. If Stevie Wonder is just like, phony people's pretty damn good, probably lose your damn mind. But it helps and it's necessary. But see, like you don't seek that out. You just make your music.
Yeah.
You just make your music, and the people people are here when they need to.
I don't think that would be crazy far reach though to have like a Stevie Wonder type thing happen because just honestly though, because of the type of music that you're making, there's not a lot of other people making stuff that really has that kind of sound, especially in the last like decade. Yeah, and it has a new feel. It doesn't feel old or anything, but like the music that it reminds me of the most would be like Stevie Wonder and that type of a thing, except it's current. So I could see that happening.
I've been, I forgot who I was talking to. But we was talking about Stevie Wonder and just like the icon, like he's such
Yeah.
Ooh, he's an embodiment of music, especially that era. Like, and you know, Ahmad Jamal just passed away, and you know, you got all of these really, really amazing musicians that, like, forefathers that, you know, jazz. He might changed up the whole piano jazz style, and like all of these people. Like, you know, just on this pod, you know, Stevie Wonder. Like, I gotta give my man so much love. Like, I would love and want to meet Stevie Wonder, like, real soon, because with my favorite people just, you know, going where they need to go, and, like, you know, going away. Stevie is probably, if there's anybody, right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about anybody, I would really want, like, Stevie Wonder to hear our music, and it could be the worst criticism. Wow, you guys fucking suck. Dude, I just want something from him.
It's possibly he's even fucking heard it, man. Like, it really, like, the world is such a smaller space, and it's so much, and really, when you're in a creative realm, there's not that many people that do anything creative professionally. Number one, there's everyone does something, not everyone, a lot of people, but the next tier up of people that make a living doing it, that's a way smaller group of people. And then as it goes up and up and up, there's not that many people in that realm, and these people are still listening to music all the time. So it's very possible. I interviewed this band who their favorite singer is Courtney Love, right? And so they always do this cover of this whole song, Violet, which I think is a dope song. It was in a skate video years ago. So anyways, I went, interviewed them before their show because they came through my area. And they mentioned Courtney Love, they're a big fan. And I was like, oh, dope. I bet I could get her to hear a song for you. And they're like, no. And I was like, no, really, though? Because I interviewed Scott Lips. He owns a talent agency that represents a bunch of celebrities and stuff. And he's Courtney Love's drummer. Like, they're good buddies. And so I sent their like cover song of Violet to Scott the next day, and I was like, check it out. These friends of mine, they just made, you know, they play the song at every show. They're big Courtney fans. I wanted to send it your way because I thought it was actually tight. And then he listened to it and messaged me back. He's like, yep, gonna send it to Courtney right now. This was tight. And so I screenshot that, sent it to the girls, and they were like, what? And I was like, dude, it's a smaller world than you realize. Like, getting him to hear a song is real possible. He already heard one.
But also, just even to speak to that, like, this band didn't like pick you up by your collar and was like, Courtney Love. They were kind of detesting it, like, no, don't do that. It was just,
they didn't ask me at all.
Just the strength of, like, you guys are moving like dope, like, I'm gonna do something dope for you, you know. I mean, just come back full circle. That's the love, man. If you do, other people will see, right? And they will do with you. You know,
Absolutely.
They will help and however they can. You just need some water. Yo, here you go. Like, I see you grinding hard. Here's your water. Like, if it goes a long way. You just got to do. If you don't do, you don't get no water.
Yeah, well, and people want to help each other. Like, good people want to help each other, right? And when I see other opportunities like that, if it doesn't hurt me in any kind of way, why wouldn't I? And a lot of times, like, you don't even do it because it's going to come back to you, but good things do happen to good people. That happens all the time. If you have an opportunity to help somebody, there's a pretty good chance that at some point down the line, when you're not expecting it, they helped you out. Even if you never find out that they said something good to the right person that heard about, you know what I mean? Good things come back around. Let's talk about where things are currently going. You're doing the After Effects thing, which I just saw that music video for Dial Tone that Barry did. Oh my God, that was incredible.
That wasn't After Effects at all.
No. He drew it.
Mother, yo, I would see him fall and then wake up. Yeah, crazy.
That was crazy. I'm just curious, did that have him putting so much energy into that and you seeing that? Did that have any inspiration for you to want to do some stuff?
Me and Barry, we go back, and me and Barry are like the video game nerds, the art nerds of the group. So we like, when he was doing Dial Tone, I was right there like, oh, this is so cool. Barry's a huge influence, and just like Barry right now is like putting together pieces of like an anime, a comic book that he's drawing at, like maybe even a cartoon series. You don't know. He's animating and he's drawing. He's doing all of this stuff. So Barry, just being the artist that he is, he was an artist first. He was an artist before a bass player. He became a bass player because of Phony People, but he, very, very influential. And when I sat down and was like, oh, I got the program After Effects, I'm about to start like learning some stuff, he was like right by me like, yo, Matt, you know what would be cool if you did this? And I have these like 8-bit drawings of us that I did. Maybe you could turn that into 3D and spin it around. And like, you know, it's just a lot of back and forth. So everybody in the group influences everybody. Like Asia has been influencing me to be better at piano and to learn stuff, you know. So I'll practice and then I'll be like, Asia, look what I learned, and then he'll be like, oh, you know, you should try this. You know, everybody's willing to teach. Everybody's willing to share. That also helps with the, you know, the fact that we are all still homies. And, you know, because the same way I'm learning After Effects is like Elijah learned how to DJ and he's showing me dope transitions and dope stuff here. LB and Asia have taken up photography in the last like year or so. Cool. Their f-stops and ISO talk go crazy, you know? So and they're not shy to be like, yo, Matt, yo, check this out, or like, yo, look what I've been learning. Not even on some, you learned this too, but I want to share what I've been learning. So there's always some influence and love and some whatever somebody else is doing. Like we are all picking that up and proud of that and being like, you know what, I want to do something that's dope like that too, and then show Barry, show Asia, and then, you know, everybody's like, oh, Matt did that fly shit. I'm gonna try to one up him with this, and like a competitive, like friendly competition where it's like, oh, he made that fire beat. This beat that I'm about to bake and show them gonna be crazy, and then LB's like, oh nah, Matt just went crazy. Take this, boom, you know? Yeah. Just
it's inspiring. You got to have people around you that inspire you in a creative way, you know? And when you're around people that are stagnant, you're going to end up being stagnant too. So that's why it's important to pick and choose the people around you, in, you know, and not in a way of like, you got to look at who's advantageous or anything like that. I don't want people to think that way. And there's perfectly fine to have old friends that do totally different careers and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. But as far as like where you want to be in your personal growth with what you're doing, creative, business, or whatever, it is important to surround yourself with people that inspire you in those types of things. I do have two questions that are relatively unrelated because I know I need to ask them while we're here. One, I get it, your name's Maffyuu, but like, why did you go with Maffyuu? Like, where does that actual name come from? And then the other one is, what's your favorite fighter game and what character is your favorite one to play? Because I know you play a bunch of video games. I know those are like random questions, but they got to get in here.
Those questions, you should have asked them questions as soon as we sat down. Maffyuu. So there's a couple different stories off of this. One, my middle sister Kenya, when she was younger, she couldn't pronounce my name, so she would say Maffyuu, Maffyuu, and my parents would always tell me that story and all. I always thought that was really cute. So based off my sister Kenya, I've named it Maffyuu. But one of my homegirls, Taja, she told me that Maffyu or Maffyuu, something like that, means like cold winter in Japan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. In Japan, in Japanese, or one of those languages, Korean, Mandarin, something like that. But it means like cold winter. And I was like, oh shit, I'm born December 24th. It's like, it makes so much sense. Sure. So that's another one. And third, nobody has that handle on any social media. So let's go.
But that really is important. When people tell me that they want to start a business, it's one of the first things I tell them is look up the website with that name, look at the social medias with that name, and even if you're not sure you're going to use it, if it's free to tag it, grab that right now, because it's going to be horrible if you don't.
I started my Patreon, which is blank Maffyuu Patreon. Like nobody will get, and I've gone as far. I've gone as far to hit up companies and be like, hey, this account is inactive. Can you delete it? Like I like all of my social media is branded like that, you know. So it's easy to be like, yo, this is obviously a dead account. Nobody uses it. Like, I want this name. Like all my and most likely they help. They'll be like, word. All right, I see you. All of your shit is under there. Let's keep it uniform.
Yeah, my only one is I want Passion, that handle, and the dude who has it won't sell it to me, and he's not even using it.
Not even using it.
No, wants $4,500, but you can't sell.
Report his account.
I have, and Instagram hasn't done anything. So if anyone knows someone that works in that department of Instagram, please, I will do you. I know I can't pay you for it. That's outside of community guidelines, but I will do whatever you want. I want that handle. Okay, but
the second one. All right, so all right, so I've been playing Super Smash Brothers since it came out for the 64.
Me too.
And
not as much as you, but a lot.
I played Smash 64 a lot, but I played Melee a lot. Like I would wake up before school and like before middle school and be like, I'm not leaving for school until I 5 minutes of wave dashing, but back and forth, short hop, aerials. Like I was obsessed. Me and my god brother Melvin, we would go on weekend benders, like 72 hours of match after match after match after match after match. No, like no BS, bro. And then like we'll take a break and play like Ragnarok, which was this MMO on the computer, and then right back to matches 9-10 hours of just Smash. But and still playing it to this day through Brawl, through Smash 4, and still playing Ultimate. Favorite character has always been Toon Link since Brawl.
Oh, cool.
Which is the Wind Waker Link. But you know, and all this learning and just keeping busy. Like I also keep busy in games. So I was like, I love Link. I'm gonna learn a new technical character, a character that makes me have to play the game differently. So I was like, let me pick up Peach, who on the opposite end of the spectrum is like really difficult and technical, and you have to learn like combinations and things just to make the character be viable. And yeah, I like there's very little that I do that I don't relate back to like drumming or any kind of knowledge, because just the coordination of getting all of that together, I'll put that in the same breath as like my stick control, you know, just doing all of that. It's just little different muscles, but the idea, make sure that we're hitting the shit on the right frames, make sure I'm hitting every drum at the metronome mark, you know, and make sure I'm being creative with my combos. I'm not giving my opponent the same up, left, down, you know, make sure I give them a little diagonal right and a little crouch and maybe pause, you know, maybe just wait a little bit. Relate that back to drumming, you know, don't play the same fill every time, spice it up. There's also moments where you can rest and wait, silence, let the opponent be stupid and kill themselves, you know. It's so you can learn from anything, man. And video gaming, like my mom's a gamer and my dad was a big Street Fighter 2 guy, you know, so I grew up on all of that, and Mario 64 and all just having your hands work, and translating, you know, what's going on here to the TV and getting better at it, bro. Like it's only helped me. Like I can't say like I spend tons of time playing games, but I never let it like if I'm not going to play games for 10 hours and then not practice for like an equivalent 10 hours. Practice drums. But it you know, it helps. It allows me to like kind of like zone out. And I can like think about other things and develop strategies while my like fingers just moving, playing Mario, a little platformer, like RPGs, you know, all I got to do, play Pokemon, catch Pokemon, all the while I'm like taking notes of like what to do tomorrow, here's a Pikachu, what to do tomorrow, what to do, you know, just keeping busy. I'm a fucking busybody.
Well, and putting your brain in a different spot, so like that helps with the creative juices a lot. Like I paint a lot, obviously, like I've talked to you about, and if I just keep working on the same painting, I'll get stuck on it a lot. So if I have different avenues, different things, even if it's totally different, like I go skateboarding or whatever, like that will help me then have an idea for this other thing. You gotta, if you just focus on one thing, you're gonna come out with a really bland project. You got to be able to kind of branch out. Okay, so I always ask the same question towards the end of every show, because I think it's different one. Wow, this one's a good one. I promise it's a good one. When you do things that you're passionate about for a career, you end up having a lot of really unique experiences, such as like traveling to Korea and having people sing songs and whatnot that you play where you're like, that's not even your first language. But you get to have a lot of really unique experiences that you're really grateful for that make all of that worth it. Usually they're not financially driven. They're, you know, some other way. What's a story of an experience you can share that you're really grateful for that only happened because you pursued music?
Oh man, and we were just talking about this the other day. So we were as a band invited to Quincy Jones's house.
Oh wow.
Like his real crib, like real deal Holyfield. And we were performing. There's this museum slash performance space that's down there on like 10th Avenue in the city. I forget what it's called, but it was just being built and opened, and Quincy Jones was throwing like this big like a performance, bunch of different artists from all walks of life and all areas of the world. And we Phony People was invited to play that very special event. I think we had to like choose like 2 songs that like Quincy produced in his life. Of the millions of songs that he had to choose 2 of the songs and perform an original. And we were in California, I forget, probably playing some shows or whatever, and we had to have a meeting with Quincy, like Greg Philliganes, like it was a whole circle room of people, and all legends. They've played on Michael records, they have sang with this person, like Quincy, like bro, I'm just remembering it. We pull up into the joint, into the driveway, driveway, it feels like a damn parking lot.
Yeah.
Right? Pull up into the joint, then we walk into the second house, which is the studio, and you're just walking through a hallway of just plaques and Grammys and "We Are the World" written out and signed by everybody who sang on. You know the song "We Are the World," like all the peoples was in there. Everybody signed that shit. Big ass plaque that looked like a map. You keep continuing on. It's just gold, Grammys. This is gold plaque. And then he has this like meeting room that has 8 pillars. It has pillars in it, and each pillar is to represent another pillar of sound, which is just a crazy concept to have like a meeting office. You know, and then you're sitting down discussing music in this place that's just giving you the aura of music. It was crazy. And the reason why I say this was one of the like important, most craziest experiences, because we like grew up on Motown music. Our parents grew up on Quincy Jones's like genius, and through them they taught us about that. And to be able to make our own music that allowed us to get there, a place that I remember going back and telling my parents like, yo, I went to Quincy Jones's house, and they lost their mind. Fast forward, we were doing the performance in New York for the whole thing, and I got my mom's and my pops a ticket, obviously. Mind you, this was the same day as like a Game of Thrones finale. I remember that day. And people were like watching the for Quincy Jones performance, and also watching Arya Stark kick ass. But and I it was like we performed. We did I think we did Think Twice, which is a Donald Byrd record. Quincy was involved with, and then we did Sweet Love by Anita Baker. Phony People covered. Shit was dope. And then we performed Cookie Crumble, which was our original. But I remember after the performance, it was dope. And then we all, the whole band, plus my mom, plus my dad, got to like sit down with Quincy Jones, like just like kind of mac out and chill, be like, yo, you're a legend. And he'll be like, you motherfuckers are great as hell. Like, don't sit here and yeah, like real down to earth. And then we all partied and got drunk. And Corey Henry, I don't know if you know Corey Henry, keyboard player, fantastic guy. He owes me a game at 2K. I just remembered that. Because we were up there, we was having a good time. He was talking all this mess about 2K. Never challenged me. Corey. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of experiences like that. And that's one that just like rolls off the tongue. But like there are moments with just like the band, us having like crazy laugh attacks, or like nights where we got stupid drunk in the basement and just like had like the Halo Wars, the time where we used to have like Friday rehearsals, every Friday rehearsal in high school. So like imagine like after school, like all the homies, all 5 of my homies, all 5 of PJ homies, all 5 of Asia's homies. It's like 40 people in my basement, and we rehearsing for them. You know, it's just a party, smoke everywhere. There's drinks, and like by the night, females over. Like it's a legit party, and people playing and all of that. Those moments unforgettable, because that really helped us during the high school time, like just build that community between the 4 different high schools, people meeting people from Brooklyn High School of the Arts and just connecting at the casa. That's what they call my house, you know. And this is so many. I'm just proud and happy of all of my friends who make music, and especially my bandmates, because it's rough. It's rough just being creative. Like, bro, you have down times.
Yeah.
You know, and especially with music, and I know with me, there'll be months sometimes where it's just like I can't make anything. My practice is poor, like, and it's easy to fall into that state. But and with the same breath, like if you push through just a little bit and you make just one little increment, one little light of a good song or a good beat, or like your practice, you feel a muscle get a little stronger, then that's the only encouragement you need to keep, that I need to keep going.
You just got to get something that has the momentum to switch.
Yeah, you just don't quit, don't give up, man. Then and also learn the downtime, the times that aren't good, the times where you're least creative. Like, study that. Maybe you worked too hard and you've exerted all of your juices. Maybe you need to chill. Maybe like don't feel I'm not doing anything. Maybe your body and your brain is telling you, bro, you need to refresh. Go outside, touch grass. know. And like I'm just proud. I love being creative and making new things and sharing new things. I don't plan on stopping, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see everything that comes after this. And you got to let me know next time you guys come through the Midwest. Minneapolis is a big music city. People play there all the time.
Shout out to my man, Alan Kingdom.
Yeah, Minneapolis is 90 miles from where I live. Yeah. So I can easily pop out before a show. We could do a whole thing with everybody or whatever. That'd be tight.
Yeah, no, I know the guys. Oh, my God, the conversation would be insane. Like, woo. But, I'm going to totally tell them about this. This is awesome. And yeah, like I know we travel out there pretty often, and we got a lot of love out there in the Midwest, so I totally would give you a holla.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll kick it in Minneapolis. It will happen. So how can people best support you moving forward? Where can they go follow you? You already kind of shouted out, but shout it out again now that people are done listening to the episode, and then pick whatever song that we want to end with too.
Facts. All right. What's up, good people? It's your boy Maffyuu from Phony PPL. Thank you for listening. Shout out to my man here. Check Phony PPL out. PHONY PPL. That's everywhere. You can check us out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, our website, OnlyFans, all of that. And if you wanna follow myself, I am Maffyuu. That's Maffyuu. Everywhere, OnlyFans, TikTok, Twitch, all of that. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. We got music and we got shows coming up, so just stay tuned and make sure you keep checking out the Passion Podcast, because there's a lot of passion in here. These are some great questions, like for anybody that's just like needs a little bit of guidance. Like, I was watching a couple episodes earlier too, and I'm like, man, just to see like what's the vibe. And I'm like, man, I feel really fucking good about what these people are saying. That's dope. It's very, very encouraging. But what song should we end off with? Probably something from the newer project. You know what we're gonna end off with? We're gonna end off with Nowhere But Up. Nowhere But Up off our newest album, Euphonious. I'm very fond of this song. When we play this song live, it goes pretty crazy. The whole album goes pretty goddamn crazy live. Yeah, also, if you want to see us live, we got some shows coming up at the end of April. And come June, we're going to be playing Governor's Ball, which should be really dope. Phony PPL, check us out. Maffyuu, man, check us out. Let's play that Nowhere But Up. Listen to Euphonious. Shout out to the Passion Podcast. Thank you for having me, my guy. This is beautiful. You're beautiful. I love your tattoos too.
I appreciate it.
And the rings. Look at you.
So, like, hold on, hey. Wait, so you want me to chase you through this song? You sound crazy. You sound crazy. Okay, I hear you, but that don't mean nothing to me, cause it's not my style. I don't really do all that, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro, you tripping. This song not even supposed to be about you.
It's been a very long time since I have seen you last. Time flies so fast, I can't tell how much passed. The last thing I remember is you said that you want me. What a time we had, can never forget that. No, when you know it's so good, you wish you could go back to the last thing I remember is you said that you want me. Open up your eyes, you're blind. Might sound crazy, but you will be fine, right? Last thing I remember is you said that you want me. No way, you knew, even in your wildest dreams, that I'd be back for you. Take another step and you'll find yourself closer to the last thing I remember is you said that you want me.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.